Megaraptora is a group of carnivorous dinosaurs that's a bit of a mystery in terms of where exactly they fit on the dinosaur family tree. Think of them as the wildcards of the theropod family, kind of like how some people debate whether velociraptors should be classified with birds or as their own thing. The more advanced members of this group, known as Megaraptoridae, stand out because they had huge, powerful forelimbs, kind of like the T-Rex's arms, but not so tiny. While most other big theropods have smaller arms, Megaraptorans had the muscle to back it up. Now, we don't have a complete skeleton of a Megaraptoran, so picture trying to piece together a puzzle with some missing pieces. But from what we do know, their arms were big and muscular, and their bones had a unique shape, especially in Megaraptoridae, a subgroup that doesn't include species like Fukuiraptor and Phuwiangvenator. Their first two fingers were long, with huge curved claws, kind of like a dinosaur version of a big cat's claws, while the third finger was much smaller, like it didn't need to get in on the action. They also found part of a juvenile Megaraptor's snout in 2014, and it was long and slender, sort of like a velociraptor's snout but stretched out. Their legs were built for running too, with slender bones similar to those of the Acyllosaurus, the group that includes fast runners like Oviraptor. Despite their bulky bodies, Megaraptorans had some lightweight features that helped them move fast. Their bones were filled with air pockets, called pneumatic bones, which made them lighter, like how bird bones are designed to be lightweight for flight, but without the feathers. This air-filled structure was especially noticeable in their vertebrae, ribs, and the hip bone, a rare trait for theropods. Think of it like a tough but lighter version of a bodybuilder who's built for speed. Their neck bones had a weird shape too, something called opisthocoelous, meaning they were concave, like two scoops of ice cream fitted together. And their teeth were similar to a small, speedy dinosaur called Compsognathus, suggesting they had a bit of a bite-and-run feeding style. At first, Megaraptorans were thought to belong to a group called Neovenatoridae and were linked to other big predatory dinosaurs like Carcharodontosaurus. But by the 2020s, many scientists started to think they were actually part of a different group called Coelurosauria, which includes things like Tyrannosaurus and birds. The jury's still out on exactly where they fit in that group though. Some studies still put them with the big allosauroids. Megaraptorans were mostly found in South America, especially in the Late Cretaceous of Patagonia, but they didn't just hang out there, they spread out across the world. The oldest members of the group, like Phuwiangvenator and Fukuiraptor, were discovered in Thailand and Japan, and in Australia, Australovenator, the biggest known predatory dinosaur from the continent, was a Megaraptoran. Megaraptor was not your average theropod. First discovered in 1996 by Argentine paleontologist Fernando Novas, its fossilized remains were initially puzzling. At first, it was thought to belong to a Coelurosaur, closely related to dromaeosaurs and troodontids. But there was something strange about it. A large, impressive claw found at the site led Novas to name it Megaraptor, which literally means large thief. He believed it came from the animal's foot, but over time more discoveries revealed that the claw actually came from its hand. This revelation changed everything, and Megaraptor was much more than a simple Coelurosaur. The taxonomic position of this dinosaur has been debated ever since. Some say it's part of a clade called Neovenatoridae, related to Carcharodontosaurus, while others suggest it belongs to a group of theropods closely related to tyrannosaurs. What we do know is that Megaraptor was massive, measuring up to 8 meters, around 26 feet in length, and weighing in at around 1 ton or 2,200 pounds. Its long, slender skull had a mix of features, like small conical teeth in the front and larger, more curved teeth in the back, not unlike its cousin, the Tyrannosaur. But it wasn't just its teeth that made Megaraptor a formidable predator. Its hand claws were an absolute powerhouse, with the first claw measuring a staggering 35 centimeters or 14 inches, curved and built for slashing. When the first fragmentary remains of Megaraptor were discovered in the Portezuelo Formation, parts of its limbs, a massive claw, and various other skeletal fragments were found. It wasn't until 2004 that a second specimen confirmed Megaraptor's true nature. This time it was clear that giant claw wasn't for the foot, it belonged to the hand, further complicating its place in the theropod family tree. From there, discoveries continued, with a juvenile Megaraptor skeleton uncovered in 2014, revealing more about its anatomy. Despite these findings, no complete skeleton has ever been found, so paleontologists have had to piece together its body from a variety of fragments. One thing that stands out is its skeleton. The neck contained 10 cervical vertebrae, and its back had 12 dorsal vertebrae. Some of these bones showed traits similar to both Coelurosaurs and Allosaurids, like its unique maxillary teeth and the structure of its cervical vertebrae. Megaraptor's hand claws, each more curved than even Spinosaurids, were perfect for gripping and tearing into prey. The forelimbs were long and robust, equipped for grabbing and pulling. When it comes to its family tree, paleontologists have long debated whether Megaraptor was more closely related to tyrannosaurs or to other more basal theropods. In the end, recent studies suggest that it may fall between the two. Some studies even place Megaraptor and its relatives, known collectively as Megaraptorans, within the Coelurosaurid clade, right alongside the infamous tyrannosaurs. Megaraptor lived during the late Turonian to early Carnivorous stages of the Late Cretaceous, around 90 million years ago. Its fossils have been found alongside a diverse range of dinosaurs, including titanosaurian sauropods like Phytalochosaurus and theropods like Fukuiraptor and Unenlagia. The ecosystem it lived in was vibrant and teeming with life. Australia, about 95 million years ago, was home to the fiercest predators of its time. Australovenator, also known as the Southern Hunter, this dinosaur was part of the Megaraptor family and lived during the Late Cretaceous in what is now the Winton Formation. It was a bipedal carnivore, reaching up to 6 meters or 20 feet long and weighing about 500 kilograms or 1,100 pounds, making it a relatively lightweight, fast predator that earned the nickname cheetah of its time. Australovenator was discovered in 2006 and described in 2009, with its fossils found in the Matilda site. The remains were found alongside those of a sauropod named Diamantinosaurus. Talk about finding the perfect dinner guest. The fossils included partial limbs, teeth, and other skeletal remains, with ongoing excavations still revealing more pieces of this elusive predator. For a while, paleontologists debated whether Australovenator was closely related to another Australian dinosaur, Raptor, but after further analysis, it became clear that Raptor was indeed a Megaraptoran, potentially a close relative of Australovenator. And just when you think that mystery is solved, newer research suggests Australovenator could belong to a completely different group of theropods like the Allosaurids or even the Carcharodontosaurids. The science keeps shifting. One of the standout features of Australovenator is its impressive arm and hand flexibility. It could extend its fingers further than most theropods, a trait that made it highly effective at grasping prey and pulling it towards its chest. While its jaws might have been weaker compared to some other predators, its arms played a huge role in securing and disemboweling prey. Not just a terrifying predator, Australovenator was a fascinating creature with a mix of both primitive and advanced features. Its foot anatomy also caught the attention of researchers, with studies showing that it could make surprisingly bird-like movements with its foot, similar to modern-day birds like the cassowary, which uses its toes as weapons in territorial battles. And let's not forget its impressive hunting grounds, found in the Winton Formation, which was a diverse environment filled with bivalves, fish, turtles, crocodilians, and plenty of other dinosaurs. The area was basically the prehistoric equivalent of a bustling wildlife reserve, and Australovenator was right at the top of the food chain. This fascinating dinosaur wasn't just a predator, it was perfectly adapted to its environment, a specialized hunter in a diverse prehistoric world. While we've learned a lot about Australovenator, there's still much more to uncover about this remarkable creature. Murusraptor was a member of the mysterious Megaraptor group, a family of theropods known for their unique traits. These dinosaurs were found all over the southern continents, but notably absent from North America. Murusraptor itself was a relatively average-sized predator, around 7.5 meters long, roughly the length of a minivan, though it's possible this specimen was just a juvenile, meaning it could have grown longer. It had a long, narrow snout, and its bones were lightly built, with hollow ribs that likely helped with speed and agility. Its legs were slender, more like the lighter coelurosaurs than heavy, bulkier theropods like Allosaurus. One thing that sets Murusraptor apart from its relatives is that its tail had a weirdly straight base, and it had tubular-shaped ribs, a feature not commonly seen in other Megaraptors. As for whether Murusraptor had feathers, we can't be 100% sure. Since it was a smaller theropod, it's likely that it did, possibly for thermoregulation or display purposes. When it comes to diet, Murusraptor was carnivorous like other Megaraptors. It probably hunted medium-sized prey, like the ornithopod Macrothorax, which roamed its territory. While we don't have much direct evidence of its behavior, it's likely that Murusraptor was a solitary hunter, using its claws to grab and manipulate prey. Its slender legs suggest it wasn't built for high-speed chases, so it may have ambushed its meals. There are also signs that Murusraptor might have taken care of its young, though we don't have enough fossil evidence to say for sure. Interestingly, the single Murusraptor specimen we have shows signs of injury. This dinosaur had a brain infection and a bite wound behind its head, which may have led to these health issues. It also had infected ribs. It's possible it was attacked by a larger predator, maybe even another Murusraptor, but it's unclear whether these injuries played a role in its death. The environment where Murusraptor lived, the Sierra Barossa, was a vast river in the Neuquén province, dotted with mud and rivers. It was a prime habitat for massive sauropods like Mendozasaurus and herbivores like Macrogryphosaurus, which Murusraptor likely preyed on. As for larger theropods, none are known from this area, but it's likely that predators like Abelisaurids, relatives of Carnotaurus, roamed nearby, as they had been in the region both before and after Murusraptor's time. The Sierra Barossa's environment is still poorly studied, so we don't know exactly what other creatures shared the landscape with Murusraptor. While Murusraptor adds to our understanding of Megaraptors, it doesn't clarify where they fit in the theropod family tree. Some studies suggest a link with carnivores, others to tyrannosaurs, so more fossils and research are needed to find it out. Orkoraptor is a medium-sized Megaraptoran theropod from the Late Cretaceous of Argentina, known from incomplete remains, including parts of the skull, teeth, tail vertebrae, and a partial tibia. It was initially thought to be a Maniraptoran due to its specialized teeth, which resemble those of Deinonychosaurs and Compsognathids. However, later studies placed it within the Megaraptoran group. Found in the Cerro Fortaleza Formation of southern Patagonia, it is one of the southernmost carnivorous dinosaurs from South America. The name Orkoraptor means toothed river thief, derived from the local Ionican word for the La Leona River near the fossil site. The species name honors Coleman Burke, a supporter of the excavation. Orkoraptor measured about 6 meters or 20 feet long and weighed around 500 kilograms or 1,100 pounds. The holotype, collected in 2001, includes parts of the skull, vertebrae, tibia, ribs, and chevrons. Initially thought to be a coelurosaur due to certain traits, later research showed its connection to Megaraptorans, with features similar to Aerosteon and juvenile Megaraptor. These findings helped reclassify it within the Megaraptora clade, which may be related to either Allosauridae or Tyrannosauroidea. Maip is a large megaraptoroid theropod from the Late Cretaceous Chorrillo Formation in Santa Cruz, Argentina. The genus contains a single species. Maip macrothorax is known from an incomplete disarticulated skeleton and may represent the largest megaraptorid discovered, possibly even the largest in the world. Maip was initially announced in a 2021 preprint, but the paper was not fully published, so the name was considered informal. In 2022, the taxon was validly described as a new genus and species. The name Maip references a malevolent figure in Ionic mythology known as the Shadow of Death, while the specific name, macrothorax, comes from the Greek makros, large, and the Latin thorax, chest, referring to its large thoracic cavity. Maip is estimated to have been 9 to 10 meters or 30 to 33 feet long, making it one of the largest megaraptorids known. After the extinction of Carcharodontosaurids in the southern hemisphere during the early Late Cretaceous, Megaraptorids, along with the Belissaurids, became the primary predators in their ecosystems. Megaraptorids grew larger over time, with members of the clade increasing in size from 4 to 4.5 meters or 13 to 15 feet in the early Cretaceous to 7 to 10 meters or 23 to 33 feet by the Santonian Maastrichtian. Analysis of the preserved ribs suggests that Maip had a bird-like respiratory system, different from other modern reptiles like crocodiles. Fukuiraptor, a medium-sized Megaraptoran theropod from the early Cretaceous, lived in what is now Japan. Known from a partial skeleton found in the Kitadani Quarry, it was initially thought to be a dromaeosaurid due to its large, flat-hand claws, but later studies classified it as a Megaraptoran. The species' distinctive teeth show traits similar to both Carcharodontosaurids and Tyrannosaurids. While the holotype was immature, it was estimated to reach about 4.2 meters or 14 feet in length and 175 kilograms or 386 pounds in weight, with adult specimens likely being larger. It may have exhibited social behavior, as some fossils from the Kitadani Quarry indicate the presence of multiple individuals, possibly hinting at pack behavior. Fukuiraptor's remains are found alongside those of other dinosaurs, like Fukuirisaurus and Fukuititan, suggesting it shared its environment with various prehistoric species. Tratayenia is an extinct genus of Megaraptoran theropod from the Santonian age Bajo de la Capa Formation in Argentina. The species Tratayenia rosalesi was described in 2018. Known from a well-preserved partial skeleton, it includes parts of the backbone, 5 dorsal vertebrae, sacrals, and a portion of the right ilium. Tratayenia grew up to 8 meters or 26 feet long and was likely an apex predator in its ecosystem, following the extinction of Carcharodontosaurids. It shared similarities with other Megaraptorans like Megaraptor, Australovenator, and Murusraptor. Tratayenia is the largest carnivorous animal known from the Bajo de la Capa Formation, which also hosted various reptiles and other dinosaurs. The structure of its teeth suggests it may have been a hypercarnivore, relying on a diet of smaller vertebrates and possibly scavenging. Additionally, the relative size of Tratayenia compared to other dinosaurs in the region supports the idea that it played a dominant role in the food chain during the Late Cretaceous. Aerosteon is an extinct genus of theropod dinosaurs that lived during the Late Cretaceous period, approximately 83 million years ago. Its fossils have been discovered in the Anacleto Formation of Mendoza Province, Argentina. The type species, Aerosteon ricoloradensis, was formally described in 2008 by paleontologists Paul Sereno and colleagues. Aerosteon was a large bipedal carnivorous dinosaur, estimated to have reached lengths of up to 9 meters or 30 feet. One of its most distinctive features was the presence of air-filled bones, a condition known as pneumaticity. This adaptation, also observed in modern birds, likely contributed to a lighter skeletal structure, enhancing agility and speed. As a large theropod, Aerosteon was likely an apex predator in its ecosystem. Its lightweight pneumatic bones would have facilitated swift movement, aiding in the pursuit and capture of prey. The presence of other theropod species in the same formation suggests a diverse and competitive environment during the Late Cretaceous in what is now Argentina. Phuwiangvenator is an extinct theropod dinosaur from the early Cretaceous, specifically the Barremian to Aptian stages, discovered in Thailand. Its name means Phuwiang's hunter, referencing the province where the fossils were found. Phuwiangvenator lived around 120 million years ago, and it was a carnivorous predator, providing insights into the prehistoric life of Southeast Asia during the Cretaceous. The fossils were found in the Fukuiraptor Formation, which also contains other significant dinosaur remains. The holotype, described in 2007, includes parts of the skull, jaws, and vertebrae. Despite being incomplete, the specimen was enough to identify it as a new species and genus. Phuwiangvenator was about 6 meters or 20 feet long, with a slender, agile build, suggesting it was a fast predator. Its curved, serrated teeth were ideal for slicing through prey, and its long legs indicate it could run swiftly to chase down smaller dinosaurs and animals. Initially classified as an Allosauroidea, later studies suggested it may belong to a different theropod group, potentially related to smaller, more specialized Cretaceous theropods. The Fukuiraptor Formation, where it lived, was a subtropical environment with dense forests and a variety of herbivorous dinosaurs, reptiles, and small mammals. Its discovery has helped paleontologists understand the diversity of dinosaur ecosystems in Southeast Asia. It shared its habitat with herbivores like Sauropelta and smaller theropods like Dinosaurs, highlighting the role of theropods in this ecosystem. Phuwiangvenator offers important insights into the early Cretaceous theropod lineage, showing the variety of predators that evolved during this period. While not as famous as other large theropods, it helps expand our knowledge of the prehistoric world.